complexity's turn to pick.
All right, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the broadcast here, our final game of the night coming at you, Starlighter I-League Star Series American Qualifiers. Complexity versus Team Freedom, Game 2, with Complexity up 1-0. Again, I'm Breaky CPK, joined by my co-caster here, Z-Rock. And Complexity, I mean, they just honestly looked impressive in that first game. I don't know if Team Freedom necessarily played that poorly. It's just Complexity was the better team in that game 1, Z-Rock.
Yeah, Freedom committed to a very specific type of draft. It was handled very well by Complexity, and they never really got to hit the timings they wanted to hit. And with that, we just saw them get punished basically from 20 minutes on. Basically, as soon as Z-Freak picked up Blink, that game was downhill fast.
Yeah. So now here we are at the draft of the second game, and interesting start to this one too, as you would expect. But Leshrak picked up by Team Freedom. Almost like a takeaway from Complexity, but also, of course, run of themselves, do well. But Rubik, Juggernaut response, and then Sven, actually the second pick for Freedom. But, I mean, you know Freedom pretty well. Are they comfortable with Leshrak as well?
Very. Yeah, they've ran it fairly consistently for the last few weeks, and with some mixed results, but overall it's done pretty well for them. The Sven pickup kind of harkens to the same strategy they were going for last game, where they want to group up early and really just push the game. The last time we saw them pick up Sven, he went Vanguard, Hood, something else super early game, Vlad's.
Really?
Yeah, it was like an all-in, we're going to push by 20 minutes, and if we get stopped, we're done kind of thing. So we'll see if they go with a little more longevity this game.
It's getting late strat from him, so we just want to be done, damn it, no. Yeah, that'll be curious to see if that perhaps comes up here. But Centaur coming out for Complexity. All right, with the third pick. Immediate Evoker pick, though, in response. Both captains seem pretty confident with what they... There we go. Silencer now coming out. We're just flying through this draft all of a sudden.
Yeah. We really are. They knew what they want to pick. They're just going down the line and picking their heroes. I think this is way less thought than the last draft. They're not looking to counterpick each other. They just want to do their strat, play their Dota, and see what happens.
Now, obviously, Team Freedom thinking about their fourth one. Okay, spending a little bit more time now. May actually dip into that reserve time, what they want. You figure they got Sven as the one. You got Invoker, of course, mid, and then Leshrak as that support most likely. So still need another support in the off lane are the roles that come to mind right here. But Silencer on the other side, that could always be just one of those difficult heroes to go against. And I wonder if that's going to be a core or a support Silencer is always the question that's brought up.
Yeah, at this point, I think it could be either. I think they're plenty fine flexing it into either slot. So it's just a question of, do you think you can beat Tamada's Invoker with a Silencer? And I think normally the answer to that is no, unless you're going to have a lot of roams, a lot of help, and try to break the lanes up a little early.
Yeah.
But I'm digging the Centaur pick from them here. I think this hero is super good right now. It gets its levels, it does damage, and it basically stops the supports from leaving the lane. Because if you ever leave the lane against like an even level Centaur, he will kill your carry. Double Edge does so much damage.
Seems like it. So Complexity going to look to take advantage of that. We'll see if Monkeys, of course, you'd figure going to be the one to get his hands on that, being the offlane player. But all right, Freedom really dipping into that extra time now, the reserve time here, and we went flying through this draft to all of a sudden slowing down quite a bit here. So the fourth pick.
Yeah, I think they're trying to find Mike's hero. Wow.
Whoa. Tusk.
That's a hero that hasn't existed in this patch.
No. He was played a couple of times at Dota Pit, I want to say, but
Yep.
Yeah, not.
I don't think it did very well.
No.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick. We'll have to see what they can look to do with it. I mean, all this is saying is they want to be hyper aggressive early game. Yet again, kind of the Freedom MO, right? If you snowball in Leshrak Sven, then you stun and you have the Leshrak Edict running, it does do a lot of damage. But Complexity can kind of temper that aggression with stuff like Stampede to get you out of range of the snowball, just spinning it with Jug so you don't get stunned, even globaling it right as they come out. So a lot of answers already on Complexity's side.
Have not casted a Tusk game yet, so this will be first one for me as well. That should be fun to watch. I mean, Tusk, I know potentially could be a fun hero, but not a popular one. So, yeah, we'll see how this works. You mentioned the Snowball, though, and how they already have a team that can also be pretty good against it. And they're just going to finish with an Axe, though, their final pick. So, all right.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what they do with the Sven. I think that's their X factor this game. If they go a bunch of Auras early game, go stuff like Dom Vlad's again, they're going to, again, have to look to end this game in say, 20, 25 minutes, or they're going to really struggle. compLexity's lineup at this point scales incredibly well. Silencer does well throughout the game. Rubik just gets better as it goes on. And again, this kind of feels like an early game versus a more balanced draft out of compLexity.
Yeah. Freedom trying to really just go for the cutthroat early on. So see if that play style definitely reflects that, and if they are able to pull it off, or if compLexity going to hold it. And that's probably what's going through Melon's head right now as well, as far as that's their game plan. So what do we want to do with this final pick to kind of answer that? Necro, I love it. I love seeing Necro here. And Necro's because I brought this up before that. Now, in the European region, Team Liquid has actually been running a fair amount of Necro, and they're the top team, actually, in the European region right now. They've won a lot of their – I don't know the exact stats, but they won at least the 2 or 3 games that I watched them play with it. So I'm excited for this.
It's an incredibly strong hero, especially just because of how difficult he is to kill. If you don't burst him down instantly and he manages to get a Reaper off on somebody, he's going to be full health by the end of it. And that can catapult into 2 or 3 kills, and if he gets more than 1, you're just never going to kill him in a team fight. So it's one of those heroes I think if you're playing from slightly ahead is borderline broken right now. But if you do fall a little behind, it can be hard to find some traction. Reapers is a pretty good comeback mechanic, but if Call does fall too far behind in laning stage, they may lack a little bit of damage in this game.
Yeah, that Ghost Shroud's going to be very powerful for Necro, feel like, as well. The Sven, the Axe talking about, and even Leshrac, with the Diabolic Edict, not going to really affect him there. So, yeah, definitely a unique draft. Again, whenever Team Freedom's in the series, though, I just find it that's just going to happen. So they really do like to draft some funky stuff. But compLexity, going with the Necro. Like I was talking about, though, this is not a hero that has been picked up a lot, despite the hype around it and the change of the skill set, and kind of consider more of a pub stomp hero, I feel like. But I think it's going to be something that slowly starts to gain more and more traction. I really do. Again, Liquid really making a very good use of it in the European qualifiers over there, and perhaps this is the continuing of that. But we'll see. We'll see who's playing it, by the way. It is Moo, yeah.
Yep. So I do think it is very, very strong. There are some answers to it. Obviously, BKB does a number against him, and even just a pipe can mitigate a ton of his damage there. But again, if you can find those Reaper skills right at 6, he just gets so far out of control. And in the late game, all it takes is 1 or 2 Reapers on some core heroes, and you're setting their death timers back so long that you can win the game off just that.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. At level 1 of the Reaper Scythe, already 10 seconds added onto that respawn time, and then obviously all the way up to 30 seconds by the time the late game comes around. So, the Sunstrike is going to connect right there, doing a little bit of damage, getting some vision there, but ultimately,
it's on the smoke too.
Yeah. So now, what will they do with that information is the question. They're going to smoke themselves to the bottom lane. At least planning to. Z-Freak, though, he already placed the ward down, so get some aggressive vision. But, of course, not going to see them, as they are smoked up.
Freedom's level 1 is very dangerous, but I don't know if it's better than Blade Flurry, honestly. There's 4 heroes from compLexity right now sitting around this bounty, and Freedom can probably get 1 for sure if they go with a snowball into a stun, but to get anything more than that is going to be a little difficult.
See, looking to set up behind the trees right here, but compLexity, I mean, they're ready to fight. They are. See, the good luck, have fun's coming out, almost distract them a little bit, if anything, but no, we're not going to see that initiation just yet. Eagle, he's going to do a little bit of taunting action as he walks away, and that's going to be the end of that. So both teams going to go to their own runes most likely and get that bounty rune control. So it should be a 2-2 split right here. They did get a ward down here at the bottom lane at the tower area at least. So did Team Freedom.
So each team did get 1 ward up that is going to stick, which is good for the early game. But the ward that Radiant got up shows so much information. Lets you know how aggressive that offlane is going to be, what's actually coming at you, and you can reposition your lanes fast enough that you're not going to lose much off of it.
Tusk setting up down here with the Sven as well as the Leshrac, so we are going to see that aggressive trial lane coming out on the side of Team Freedom. And now, how's compLexity going to answer to that? Melon's on the Silencer. They got Moo, of course, on the Necro. And Z-Freak will eventually head down there. But what was that about? Is he pulling? Okay. He's trying to pull right here.
He's trying to, but he took Fade Bolt at 1 instead of Lift. I think that was a miss skill. And it is kind of coming back to bite him, but he can just jungle his camp out. The tower will hit it. So.
Using the tower. Okay, yeah. Huh, clever.
Yeah, as long as you eat that one specific tree, you can get 2 or 3 tower hits.
All right, get some nice experience. We saw the last game doing the dual jungle strategy with the Darkseer and the Slaughter, and mentioned how useful that was early on. So some clever tricks here being shown by Z-Freak especially. How to get some efficient farm. Bottom lane, though, going to be pushed in with the creep wave, and obviously Freedom picking up on that. Possibly some kind of pull going on. Going to head on over, but not going to be able to catch anyone just yet. But it seems like Freedom's, this is a pretty scary, aggressive trial lane, right?
It is, but with Ghost Shroud on Necro, it's going to be very hard for them to find a kill. The extra healing that he can have when he's in Ghost Shroud, the fact that he's just taking so little damage, but we'll see right here.
Oh, there's the double stun. He isn't able to get that Ghost Shroud off yet. Finally, he gets it off, though, and the heals to follow. And he's going to run them down with a slow, but now Moo's kind of trapped somewhat, so yeah, he almost got a little too ambitious there as far as chasing them back, but he falls back, and he has another heal if need be. Splitter Earth's going to miss that time around the lift onto Leshrac. Got to get a turn kill onto him, but Necro's not nearby just yet. Cannot get in range for another Death Pulse. Another Curse, though, comes out. Eagle may actually fall right here. No, the Shrine Use comes out before he is able to be dropped. But top lane, kind of going at it, but no one's going to die up there either. But, yeah, a lot of harassment between the two lanes there. How about that fight back from compLexity?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I thought was going to expect to happen. Ghost Shroud is so good against everything Freedom has right now, and they committed everything on him. They used multiple Storm Bolts, they used Lesh Stun, they threw everything they had, and still couldn't bring him down.
Yeah. So now BSJ will just have to farm up what he can here as the creep lane is pushed up, but Melons again going to attempt to pull. We'll get the range creep at least. As the middle lane matchup, let's take a look at that real quickly. Obviously, focus on that bottom lane, but Juggernaut versus the Invoker. Invoker 5-2, Juggernaut 9-8. So Cancel. He's having a much better time here in the middle lane. Is that surprising?
No, I don't think so at all. When you spin on an Invoker, there's so little he can do in the first few levels when he doesn't have a lot of skill points that you can kind of push him off the wave whenever you want. And if he does get away from you...
I caught that down there on camera at least. He got the kill on a Rubik right there. He seemed like compLexity was the one trying to make a move, and actually his Shard's going to block him in. The Split Earth hits, and Necro might actually fall. He will. He couldn't get the heal off in time. Melons, all he could do is throw out that curse. Now Z-Freak running back in. Almost getting the turn kill on Eagle. Not going to be enough, though. So that ended up kind of snowballing right there, for lack of a better word, in favor of Team Freedom.
Yeah, the Sunstrikes are the huge X factor here. I like this a lot. It's supplementing the damage. It's going to let them kill Moo through Ghost Shroud. It's very easy to hit them with all the setup that Freedom's giving you. So very, very heads-up play from Tabata there. He was actually fighting Cancel when he threw that Sunstrike out.
That's any good Invoker player. Make it look easy, man. But it is a difficult task. But yeah, as long as you're on top of it, then that can be very, very useful for yourself and your team. Bottom lane, again, Necro's in trouble. Snowball in. Wow! He just couldn't even get a single heal off. I mean, he only started about 70% life, and Melons is also in trouble. He's just going to be dove. He can't do a damn thing again. No CC coming out from him. Well, maybe, actually, as it gets a little bit of the creep block thrown out there. And he will be able to TP away, so at least Melon survives. But once again, Necro falling. And look at Moo. He's actually headed towards the top lane now. So I think compLexity is like, all right, this is not working down here.
Yeah, once you give up the first couple kills, in most try-v-try situations, the lane gets extremely hard. They have a level advantage on you, they have items, and it just becomes way too hard to take good trades.
Yeah, middle matchup here. Again, Cancel having the much better time, as you mentioned. Not really to anyone's surprise as the totem comes out. The regen rune actually bottled up in that bottle there. But Moo's going to take over the top lane as Monkeys will start to rotate now. Find Axe doing a little bit of jungling. Axe is level 6, does have a Culling Blade, but obviously Centaur's not really concerned about that. He's trying to hit level 6 himself. Would like to have that Stampede, I'm sure, but...
And he's hit the point already in the lane where he can go jungle very effectively. So there doesn't really need to be a lane for Monkeys anymore. He can use the jungle and just kind of run around and get stuff done. But the aggro try is rotating back up here from Freedom.
That they are. Curse comes out. Mel's running right into a trap, though. Centaur nearby, but not close enough. This is a dead silence there for sure. A Culling Blade just to really do him in. The snowball not even necessary. Centaur will pour bot in while that happens, though, and pick up farm down there. So kind of playing the sacrificial lamb was Melons. Getting the vision at least, but still a nice kill. As middle lane, Cancel. Okay, he has Omni Slash, but not going to get a chance there.
Eagle started to TP there, but canceled it out to stay bottom. I'm not really sure what he's going to look to get out of this lane. He's very, very susceptible to just dying to the Centaur now that he's 6.
Battle Hunger going to be taken off by Cancel right there as he just spins away. Yeah, but Leshrac choosing to instead protect the bottom lane, figuring he's the only one down here, I guess, and if anything, kind of soak up some experience. Might as well get that solo XP as IX Mike is rotating over. Gonna do a little bit of jungling himself. Speaking of jungling, Necro, Moo is not having the prettiest start. He's really just trying to find farm where he can, but it's proven to be a difficult task at only 6 minutes into the game though. At this time, Stampede.
Yeah, this is the weakness.
Okay, they're gonna chase down Eagle at the bottom lane. The hoof stomp on top, and there's that double edge. I mean, he just melts. No chance really.
Yeah, that was exactly why I was confused with why he stayed bottom. The risk of that happening was so high. Maybe he thought the level or two he was going to get out of that lane was worth the potential death, but I think that's a pretty big punish. They pull him out of the lane and back to Centaur free farming. I mean, this guy basically has Hood Tranquils already at 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good start here for Monkeys on the Centaur. Again, tanking up quite a bit. Do you think he's going to get that Blink Dagger next? Follow up the Hood?
Yeah, you usually do. I don't see many situations where you're going to go something else prior to the blink. You really just need it to get your team into these fights.
Yeah. There was a build where we did see a Centaur recently. He actually did skip the blink, and I found that curious. But yeah, he just really tanked up. You know, the Vanguard.
Could he go like Vanguard into
the pipe, the heart eventually. So yeah, just really became massive.
Yeah, we tend to see that here and there with carry Centaurs when they're not being ran as an offlaner because you have more control in other parts of your lineup. But in this kind of lineup, he is their initiation. He's their go button.
Yeah.
So they really need the blink on him to be able to take decent team fights.
Makes sense there as top lane. Things coming out. Cancel's running up here, but he's seen doing this. There is that ward being that was placed early in Freedom. In fact, they're going to rotate around. They know he's hiding in these trees. Oh, no. Cancel is going to pop out. Went for an Omni Slash, but actually gets stunned first. They don't have enough initial damage, but the shards are going to block him in. And he can't spin through there, so very good ward. Yeah, you see him circling the area. He's like, they got to have vision over there. And he'd be right, but that was a big kill for Freedom.
Yeah, this is a much better start for Freedom. I think their lineup has some mid-game potential. It's not missing all the stuns that they were last game, so this is something they could potentially snowball into something bigger. We're seeing BSJ almost having his Dom complete, another 200 gold, and that'll be ready. Axe does have a Blink Dagger, so they're in a good position just to start running at complexity a little bit, take some more aggressive fights with the snowball.
There's that defensive use of the Stampede being used. Necro, he's being chased out of the top lane, but out comes Stampede, and he easily runs it off. No chance to catch up to him, so good use there. But we'll be on cooldown now for another 65 seconds as bottom lane, Z-Freak and the Centaur, they're going to be pushing it out. You got Eagle once again doing what he can to protect. Now, without the Stampede, he's probably not as concerned about...
Not as concerned, but still a lift into like double edge, stomp double edge will kill him.
Yeah.
So Z-Freak is the man he has to be careful of. He's going to watch his positioning there.
Yeah, Z-Freak trying to get a little aggressive, but can't get the lift off, and instead will have to fall back themselves. Middle lane, Invoker keeping his distance as Cancel's just pushing it out, trying to finish those phase boots earlier on in the game. He's has a slight, well, him and Invoker really kind of tied in the net worth here with what's actually gone on in the early game. But the top net worth is actually Axe, who's been having a great time.
Yeah, the offlaners here are both just so farmed because they kind of just ignored each other and farmed. Mike cut a couple waves. They really just stared at each other and took free last hits. So both of them got really incredible starts. Mike is now able to take Ancients because of going this Vanguard first. And he's going to look to make that a blink really quickly.
Middle lane, they try to make a play right there onto Cancel, but not able to stop that spin TP. Z-Freak, he's going to try to throw him away and get him. Oh, he stole the Tornado as well. Beautiful combo. The Stampede comes out. He's going to dodge a Sunstrike and the Ice Shards. And he has a Shrine right here to use just in case. Beautiful escape from... I mean, there's a reason Z-Freak's really being known as one of the better Rubik players in the world lately.
Yeah, he's very, very heads up in the way he thinks about his ults and how they're going to be utilized. So great steal from him, and I liked the aggressive run-in with the telekinesis. It kind of changed the way Freedom was running at him, and telekinesising first instead of just throwing the Tornado may have saved his life there.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very smart decision indeed. And actually, up here, Z-Freak, he's got the Invis. He still has that Tornado. Will he use it right here to stop IX Mike? No, he will not, but now Tomato's left by himself. There is a Shrine, though, so yeah, he needs that support nearby, of course, to be able to do anything here. Really just playing a moving ward at this point.
Yeah, very much so. Just gathering information, letting them know where they're at.
Oh, and he's ready to open. He hits the Cyclone. Here comes the hoof stomp. There's the toss back, the double edge. There we go. Meanwhile, Sven ports in, but he's just a little bit too late, and, well, Rubik's like, I'll take that. Steals the stun.
Radiant's top tower is
Another
under
good
Yeah,
ability to
BSJ
have.
has his Dom up. They should probably be looking at trying to take some objectives here. They're in a pretty good spot overall with net worth, but you don't want to sit back and let Mu have time to farm. Once he gets this Veil, he's going to be extremely lethal with the amount of damage they can put out.
Yeah. And they got the two supports as well as the Centaur now. And wanted to push in this tower. He sees Z-Freak. He's trying to get close enough. He has a stun follow-up as well. Could be able to use it right here, but they realize that the support is coming in. Stampede activated. Double Edict in the flank. Z-Freak still running away there with that Stampede. They do stun Centaur instead, but again, he is damn beefy. It's not beefy enough, though. He will go down. Tusk finishes off Rubik off to the side. And they also got Silencer prior to that, who was running completely the other direction, trying to distract them, if anything. So beautiful fight for freedom again, though. 3 for nothing. And now they're going to counter push. They made that work, man.
Yeah, really well played by everyone there for target selection. They probably would have only gotten the Rubik if they threw the first stun after the snowball onto him. But instead, opting for the Centaur, they were able to push through him, and the Rubik didn't have anywhere to go. Cancel now is in so... Oh, my.
He's dead. That's a Coling Blade. No, he's not.
No, he missed it
Oh,
already.
he actually... Yeah, okay. It's like, where
The
is
healing
it?
word called cancel up just over the threshold as Mike tried to dunk him, so...
Ah.
A little unfortunate.
That was a good job by Tusk. I mean, we're seeing the potential of Tusk, too. These ice shards are actually pretty annoying to deal with a hero like Juggernaut. His middle lane Invoker. Oh, the EMP coming off right there in response, actually, from Rubik. He's good at stealing these Invoker abilities, but Silencer going a little too deep, trying to finish him off. He'll get turned, and the Curse not going to be enough damage as he ports back to base to secure surviving right there. So another kill for Freedom now up 10-2 in this early game against compLexity. But,
yeah, very good start. For anyone in the chat that did bet on first 10 kills, congratulations on your winnings. But yeah, this is the build they want to go. BSJ's got this Dom up. They're ready to run at people. I don't think they're planning on sitting back and farming this game out. Mike's Blink is just now done as well. They kind of hit all of their major item timings here at once. So I'm expecting them to go very, very aggressively here soon.
There we go. There's the call on a Juggernaut. Is there enough follow-up? He has that Coling Blade coming up just now, but the global silence to use, and Tusk, he's going to feel the pain. He feels the scythe of the Necro right there. They also pick off Axe off to the side. BSJ trying to chase down Cancel, but realizing that was a poor decision. He's going too deep. Warcry's not going to be enough, and he also falls. And now it's compLexity's turn to win some fights, damn it. The beautiful shard block. Guess who? From Rubik. And they finish off Leshek as well.
He got a 4-man EMP in that team fight from the stolen EMP he still had from the time before. That was insane.
He is doing work here for compLexity, and without his plays, you got to think this game would be much different right now. But again, he knows this hero well, and you talk about a hero that's worth banning against compLexity. Rubik's starting to climb up that list pretty quickly, I think, if not already. So they easily get the secondary tower, and then they smoke away, actually, immediately. So they're in that full objective mode. And so you talked about Team Freedom coming online, and they just got some big items, and now they're ready to fight. That didn't go as planned.
Yeah, they took way too long. They didn't want to commit too much on the Juggernaut there. They knew he didn't have Omni-Slash up, so they thought they could kill him in the call without burning extra abilities. And not Sunstriking him there was a huge mistake. The EMP came down from Rubik, and then the lift into the stolen shards just did so much work. Just kind of a bit of a misplay from Freedom there to hold some skills that they probably shouldn't have held. At the very least, they should have come out of that fight even. But getting caught and holding some buttons coming back to bite him.
Walrus Punch is ready. You see the ice shards once again to block in Necro. He cannot get the heal off. There we go with the Walrus Punch. And down goes Moose. So actually, Leshek credit for the kill right there. But I got to say, Moo has not necessarily been the most useful, it feels like, for the team this game, despite compLexity winning that last fight. Monkeys, meanwhile, he's trying to run away this whole time. He has a Blink Dagger. He's going to be able to use it and then TP out, actually. So he escapes from the chance by Team Freedom to jump him at the bottom lane. And he makes
I
his way
really
up
like the Aghanims pick up here from him in this quick buy as well. It makes it so whoever the Freedom does decide to go on, the Stampede will help mitigate a ton of that damage, potentially just get them out in the first place. And really a heads-up item pickup here that's going to do a lot of work.
Yeah, 60% damage reduction. That is pretty insane. Z-Freak, he still has those ice shards, remember. He's going to be blocked in. He's going to toss away the Leshrac, and he's going to block out Tusk. Z-Freak can come with the neutrals. Yes, he gets killed by the neutrals. It just doesn't stop. Meanwhile, the turn onto Leshrac, the Scythe to finish him off and putting on that timer that much longer. It is level 2 now as well, so that's another 20 seconds added for that Leshrac. What more is there to say? I mean, this is just a godlike Rubik game, it feels like.
Yeah, Z-Freak is definitely getting the MVP of this game. He's played out of his mind.
Radiant's bottom tower is
And it's just going to get better. He went a Dom first. Definitely an interesting item pickup, but it does let him counter Dom whatever BSJ grabs. So I like the item pickup from him, and once he gets this Force Staff, he's going to just do so much work.
Yeah, he does. He's done this the last couple of games we've seen him play Rubik, actually, I want to say. He loves to get the Helm of the Dominator. As he said, it's not only just for the grid support item, but also to steal the other team's Dom creep, perhaps. And then I think he likes to get that Blink next, of course, which is pretty traditional when it comes to
we'll have to
Rubik.
see. He has Force Staff in his Quickfire right now, but they both do very similar things. The nice part about Force Staff is you can force people over Ice Shards, which you can't do if you get hit by them and try to Blink. So
true.
May definitely look to go that route.
This Sven, it's kind of died off a bit. I mean, he got that Helm of the Dominators you're talking about, but really hasn't been able to kind of excel with that farm. He's way down there, 6th in the game overall, 1,500 net worth. He is building a Blink Dagger next, so he's going to build just more of this Initiator, not necessarily the damage like an Echo Saber or anything like that. Do you like this decision here?
I mean, I think it's just desperation at this point. I don't think that's the position you want to be in with the Sven, but it's just kind of how the game's turned. And they really have to get something done here soon, or the Sven's farm is just going to keep trailing off while everyone else keeps accelerating. So it's a rough spot right now for Freedom.
I believe this is Rubik's Creep right here. The Mud Golem in the front lines, kind of scouting things out and getting some information as that Hurl Boulder ready to go. Saw Doom in the previous game trying to take advantage of that, but not going to connect on anyone. But again, playing kind of that moving ward, still working out for the team. Silencer gets out from the bottom lane before he gets caught. Silencer choosing to go the full-on power treads, by the way. Kind of beefing himself up a little bit. Perhaps getting set up for eventual semi-carry.
We've seen some treads kind of fall out of favor on a lot of people, but we're seeing a couple people on compLexity pick it up this game. The Necro did go that instead of going Arcanes into a mech. Swindle, as you said, picked them up as well, and a little bit of an odd build choice, but it's working out well for them. Treads are just so flexible. You can have extra int, extra strength, kind of pick what you need for the situation.
Top lane, Snowball in. Yeah, he's going to go for Juby right here. Actually steals, what, the Snowball? Yeah, but the icon didn't show up over here. That's funny. Anyways, he gets the Snowball himself, so ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a big play for Z-Freak once again. In comes a hoof stomp on a Sven, by the way, in the middle lane, the double edge used. He's going to try to TP out in time. No, God, that had to be really close.
Did he not TP to base? That TP took so long.
It felt like it. That took a while. I want to say he did, but man, that was like a half a second away if that. Eagle gets picked off, meanwhile, by Z-Freak. Did he use the Snowball? Of course he did. Way down here, he finds the Leshrac and secures the kill. Okay.
Oh, Z-Freak. Someone could literally make a highlight reel of just this game for him.
Yep. And it would get many of you. That's a good idea. I'm going to do that. Post it on my YouTube channel.
So Mu is coming into relevance here, though. He got his Blink, he got his Veil. He's working towards the Aghanims, and once he has that, he's just this huge threat where if you fall under about 40-50% health, you will die. And he's going to be able to get 2 of those ults off in a team fight and just do a lot of work with this hero now that he's gotten through the rough early game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, he really has been not useless, but just not really have impact at all for compLexity, it feels like so far. But you're right. Once he gets a Scythe especially, all of a sudden he's a massive threat once again. Even with the combo with the Blink as well as the Veil, he can amp up some damage pretty well. Obviously, cancel on Juggernaut also doing pretty good himself. Has a Yasha, 2,200 gold saved up, so the Mantis Style next. They're going to smoke into the Roshan pit. They realize it's not happening. They're going to try to finish it off, but compLexity knows this. They do not want to give this up, I'm sure. Silencer? No. Wow. They just give it up.
It was just so low. I think by the time they did actually realize that it was hard to get everyone there. Silencer wasn't quite there yet. Jug was definitely in a bad position. So minor positioning mistake, kind of donating that Roshan to Freedom.
And Sven is the one to pick it up here. He does have that, the Blink Dagger, as we mentioned, so definitely a chance.
I have no idea why they wouldn't give it to Tomato. Sven is borderline broke right now. He's essentially like an offlaner.
Yeah.
And Tomato's been putting in so much work.
Centaur, he's hard to kill. Walrus Punch trying to assist, but he pops Stampede at the pipe, or the Hooded Divines even, and that will be enough to easily escape. I mean, not many heroes can do what he just did right there, survive all that upfront damage, but he does, and he just runs away.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to cede this bottom T2 to Freedom. Just too hard to stop with the Leshrac eating it, but they are going to position up here, it looks like, to take top. So we'll see if Centaur comes up to join them, or if they just fall back off this objective here.
Cancel again, leading the way. That Mantis style just around the corner now. Almost finishing it, but looks like Invoker making its way up there. Does have the Yules, the Yags coming up next. Pretty good farm, obviously, coming out for him. But he could be in some trouble if they jump him up here. You mentioned, though, Centaur not with them. Actually, at the bottom, and he is their initiator. So without Centaur, not really the threat of jumping anyone over here.
Yeah, you can sort of jump someone just by using Moo with Blink, Reaper, Scythe, Veil right away, and then you try to shotgun the rest of the damage in during the Reaper stun. It works very well for heroes like Leshrac, who are very squishy, because you can get so much damage in a short period of time, and basically just kill them before the Reaper's ends.
And not able to get the chance for that there, as everyone's pretty much coming up for Team Freedom, and Z-Freak going to make his escape. He does have a Warcry stolen currently. Not the most sexy ability, but hey, it's a helpful one. And
yeah, very good against Team Freedom.
Get out.
But we do see the Ags done on Centaur now. So it's time for compLexity to take some team fights and really just run at them.
Yeah, how long does it last for? It's the duration 4 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're 60% damage reduction running over cliffs and everything for 4 seconds. So sounds pretty strong for compLexity here. And
yeah, it's such an in-depth skill. There's so many different things you can do with it. Use it as damage mitigation, use it as a way into a fight. You can even use it as a fun escape to like let you run down a cliff that they can't go down, and just put yourself in a weird positioning. So I hope we see more than just blink in, smash ult, and take team fights, but yeah, we'll have to see what compLexity decides to do with that.
BKB is being worked on by Team Freedom as Axe jumps in, but to no avail right there. There was somebody there, but not for long, so ends up missing, but compLexity grouping up, heading towards the top lane. They do see their middle tower being pushed in, of course. It seems like they're a little indecisive in terms of what they want to do. They're kind of splitting up. Z-Freak and Centaur, they're coming to the middle lane. The Tornado going to miss right there, but Centaur in position to maybe get some kind of jump, but not going to happen. It's at the top lane, continuing to be pushed in by compLexity, though. That's a TP from the Sven, it looks like. And he's going to go for the jump on a cancel, but he pops a Mantis style. He does still get the stun off, however. Now Axe is going to come in with a big Calling Blade. A big Berserker's Call on top of that, but the Global Silence used in terms of counter initiation, and the Omni Slash will tear right through Sven and pick him off. Centaur in the background, the Stampede already activated. He gets the combo on a Tusk, and Tusk will fall. EMP in the midst of everyone, but I don't think that's really going to hit anyone, unfortunately. Rubik, what does he have? He has a Stormhammer, looking to go back in and make a play with it, but compLexity winning that fight initially. Only Tusk dying throughout it, actually. I guess they got the Aegis kill as well.
Yeah, they did. It was just kind of a chaotic fight. The Moo never did find a Reaper's target in that entire fight. Everyone was too high HP. The Tusk was really the only one that was going to drop, and he didn't want to waste it. But a little surprised he didn't just throw it on someone for a stun. But they do take that fight. They do take the objective, and game definitely swinging back in their favor.
Take a look at that chart right here, and yeah, Freedom has had a little bit of the net worth lead, upwards of about 2,000 right here, 2,000 experience lead, but as mentioned, compLexity trying to pull back for them, not having to deal with the Aegis anymore. And Centaur, he's charging in, but don't think he's going to be able to catch anyone. Team Freedom falling back just in time for that jump actually happen. So Ags just around the corner now for Tomato here on the Invoker. As going through some talent trees here just to make sure what we have. 10% evasion choice on Centaur, but yeah, that over the magic resistance. Probably makes sense here.
Yeah,
kind of a tough
overall, game. I think evasion's usually the better choice because you already have so much magic resistance inherently. You always go a pipe or a hood, and so you have enough already, and you're never going to go butterfly in most normal games. So it's a way to get some evasion without having to commit to a weird, awkward item.
That's a big kill, as you would expect. Meanwhile, the turn, though, coming out. The snowball in for the flank, and Rubik actually going to be thrown in the air. Z-Freak going to have to force staff away, trying to live throughout all this. Necro, meanwhile, he's on the run, too. In comes a spin from Cancel. They will pick off Necro. Remember, they do not have Invoker, though, so missing out some good damage from him. Tusk picked up. A double kill for Melons, actually, and Leshrac goes down as well. Axe is able to TP away. The only survivor throughout all of that, so they got Necro, but they used a lot on him in turn, and all of a sudden the compLexity team came out.
Yep. That fight looks so close to being insanely good for Freedom. If Invoker was not the one that died right away, that fight goes so differently.
Oh, yeah.
But what's up?
I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just going to be hard for them here. They're taking these fights. They have the control this game to finally do that and take some more dynamic fights where they're not just running at buildings. But we're really seeing them get punished for BSJ just not having items. He is so insanely broke. He's not doing enough damage in team fights, and they're coming up just short.
Let's see, Resurrect's right here. Yeah, it's BKB still trying to finish that. I mean, that will help, of course, and be a bit of a difference maker, but him and Axe, for that matter, both still trying to finish up their BKBs and going to be that next tier of, okay, at least we have these items now. Let's try to make play with these. Rubik, bottom lane, just going to push it out with a Fade Bolt. As he'll fall back. He currently has a Berserker's Call. It's kind of an odd ability, I feel like, to have as a Rubik.
Yeah, not one you definitely want to have. The one cute thing you get to do with it, if you want, is, like, if someone's chasing you, you just call them in TP right away.
Oh, that's good.
Because they can't stun you.
That is true. That and also, it does provide armor. I mean, 40 bonus armor ain't too shabby. There is a slight benefit there, too. Centaur, not going to happen. Leshrac falling back a little too much. Leshrac, by the way, he's actually found some pretty good farm. He yields as well as that Blink Dagger, and he's working towards a Forest Staff, so, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely found some items, and it's helping for them. It's giving them some extra control. Lifting Cancel and Z-Freak up at some awkward times has proven really nice for them. And I like what Freedom has put together here, other than the fact that their Sven's a little broke. But I think with some smokes, if they found 1 or 2 heroes on compLexity, they could end up taking a fight that leads to an objective. But they're kind of doing what they did last game, right? Where they're dodging each other and looking to take objectives. And I'm not sure if this is the game that Freedom wants to play.
No, they're going to almost be forced to do it right now. At least they're making that decision as a split push in the top secondary, but their bottom secondary being taken out. And now compLexity going right into the base. By the way, Centaur with that Reaver now picked up, so he is almost 3,000 life full. Heart of Tarask, of course, around the corner for him. So, yeah, they're going to keep going. Centaur blanks in, doesn't catch anyone. As meanwhile, Leshrac and BSJ, they're going to push the tower in first. So, compLexity, they get the tower kill themselves. It's actually pretty even. But they're going to be exchanging racks right here, apparently. And you got to wonder if this is actually favoring compLexity or not.
No, this was extremely heads up from Freedom to just keep their guys there. I thought they were porting back, but staying does get them a melee rack, so they're going to trade in a situation where they didn't really want a team fight. So, very, very heads-up play from them.
Yeah, and they did a good job of evading. As you said, you know, the worst case would have been your guys at base dying while you're trying to counter push like that. And well, as I say that could be happening. Walrus punch in Axe. He's gonna get caught as well, and Blade Mail ain't gonna save him. And meanwhile, the Scythe to take out Tusk, so he's dead for a good 60 seconds right here. Invoker in the flank position. There's the buyback on a Tusk. He doesn't want to have to wait all that time, and realize this is that they're still pushing. So. Again, that was kind of that worst-case scenario. But Sven and Leshrac, they're actually going middle lane now. So this is a very curious here. Who will be favored in this time around, and how fast will they be able to get that tower?
This is a bizarre way to play the game. Both teams just hitting buildings, and it's a game to see how many you have to send back, right?
Yeah.
If you need to send 2 or 3 to stop the push.
The game of chicken. Oh, the Sunstrike connects on a Juggernaut. Well played right there by Tomato. And secures that kill. Now Monkeys, he is in trouble. Stampede not up for another 12 seconds. That won't get up in time, and the damage a little bit too much. So Tomato guarantees the kill as well, and stops a little bit of a streak right there. Now the middle tower was saved. It drops below half life, but compLexity did get the middle tower on Team Freedom side, so they do come out as a slight advantage there. When it's all said
very
and done.
slight, but just odd trades all around. The nice part for Sven here is it does give him some items. Taking racks is a lot of gold for your team. And so for somebody as far behind as he is, it really does give him a nice little stim pack of gold that he can try to utilize. Because he finished the BKB, and it looks like he's going to go AC now. Just looking to more so add damage to his whole team, realizing he's not going to be the only right-clicker on the team.
It hasn't been so far, but You know what, AC? Great item to have for a team in general, so nothing wrong with that. And they're going to go for Roshan this time from the beginning. Last time they were able to steal it. But it's still going to work out. I mean, complexity kind of, they're porting in as Rubik does, but I just don't know if they're going to get here in time. It's going to be another case they're going to be just a little bit too late. They are going to catch Axe off to the side. Go for a quick kill on IX Mike, but down goes the Aegis. BSJ picks it up, and now IX Mike going to go for the TP away. Meanwhile, over here, another bit of a fight taking place as Moo cannot catch anyone, though, and actually Team Freedom manages to get away with everyone. Wow. Did not see that happening.
I was really hoping to see Z-Freak throw Mike back over the ledge into the Roche pit and just stun the people doing Roche and then blink in. Or, blink in and try to steal it. But they almost got Mike. The new BKB from Mike definitely paying off there. They were able to just get him out, take the Aegis for free. And again, though, putting it on BSJ, I'm just not sure about this when you have Tomato doing as well as he is.
Well, they're going to give it to Sven, though, so he will be the one with it. But as you're talking about, he's not necessarily the primary damage dealer, it feels like, this game, but going to be that front liner. Invoker, though, does have a Lincolns now, so becoming a little bit more harder to kill. He is level 20, did not get his level 20 just yet. Keep an eye to see what he chooses for there when he does. Level 3 ulti on Necro, by the way, now picked up as he's level 18. And again, that's pretty significant because that means now 30 seconds added, as well as only a 25-second cooldown on the ability.
The cooldown is so insane. And he's probably going to go Shivas now, just add some extra armor, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we see Octarine come out, reducing that cooldown even more.
Oh, Z-Freak. He's going to force Staff away. He's trying to get away from the Zax right here. That Battle Hunger, though, making it somewhat difficult, but apparently he is going to be sneaky enough. Nope, there's more here now. He's going to throw out a stun, and he blinks away initially. Snowball coming out, though, finally connects. And they're going to kill the God Z-Freak. The Stampede unable to help him get away, despite the valiant effort there of Rubik. So, good pursuit. What was I going to say, though, about Necro? Oh, yeah, he has a Yules now, and the Shiva is going to be coming along as well. So, is bulking up here.
He just wants to make himself as close to unkillable as he can. If he doesn't die in team fights and he gets to keep pumping out death pulses, it's just too much for most teams to handle at this point in the game.
Centaur, though, with that newly purchased Heart of Tarask, Monkeys is going to push in the lane. Going to force a response out of Team Freedom. No TPs just yet. Looks like one more so the middle area. Zyx Mike will be the first. He goes in, but the blink reaction's a little too quick. As Cancel goes towards the middle racks, but probably not going to happen. As, Juby will be able to clear them out pretty quickly right there. So, another fallback from compLexity. Unable to commit all the way.
We're kind of seeing a problem here with compLexity's draft and the fact that they just don't push lanes out very quickly. Centaur can do it fairly efficiently, but the rest of your heroes need to use 2 different spells or wait for a cooldown to do so. And taking that extra time is starting to punish them a little bit because Freedom's keeping their waves just shoved in, like the whole entire lane. Bottom lane, compLexity had to come back and react to like a triple wave beating at their building. So it's splitting them up in a way they don't want to be split.
It's actually reminding me a little bit of, God, who are they playing? They were playing Team Onyx, I want to say, and Flea, who's currently standing in for them for a bit, and he was playing Invoker that game, just like Tomato is this time around, and he was just constantly split pushing on compLexity, and compLexity found themselves, despite winning kind of like they are here somewhat with team fights and everything, their base was getting pushed into the point where they ended up losing the game because it just became too much to handle, and by the time the late game came around, they just got, I guess, outplayed and also outskilled by the opposition. So, kind of happening here, it feels like.
It kind of does feel that way. The Invoker is doing so much work, and he's becoming very hard to kill with this Lincoln's picked up as well. But I think compLexity just needs to, both teams really, need to find a smoke, get some vision up, play more like ABC Dota, play standard Dota 2, get a smoke into a hero, kill that hero, push an objective. They're all trying to do something super fancy and meta right now, and I really think to a certain degree it's hurting both teams to a little bit. Their pickoff potential is insane.
Yeah.
Reaper Scythe on compLexity is like the greatest thing you can ever use if you smoke into someone. And Tomato's so big right now on Invoker that if they find someone, he will kill them.
Yeah, sometimes the simplest form of Dota is the best Dota. So right now, though, compLexity moves leading the way up here, and it seems like the team may be joining over, maybe not. They are going to be smoking it up, it seems like. Or never mind, he was drawing a line as if they were, but they choose not to. But Team Freedom is all the way at the bottom lane themselves, as Tomato is sure enough pushing it out. He's working on that Scythe now next, by the way, as well. Silencer falling back. He is not actually pushing with the team currently, as he doesn't have a TP actually, so doesn't want to commit all the way up there, only to not have a TP and not able to port back, I guess. So he's just going to walk back the old-fashioned way, and realizing that Freedom is pushing out the bottom lane. So another case of both teams are kind of split pushing, and they both kind of play the game of chicken now of getting back to their base and defending and pushing it out. So very, very passive game definitely starting to be had here.
Yeah, this is extremely passive, and at this rate, this could go on for a very long time. Buyback statuses, you see that there's only a couple people with them, so if a team fight would happen right now, it could be disastrous for either team, especially with that Reaper Scythe if they catch a core hero. I mean, most notably, the Invoker is short on buyback right now.
Yeah.
If you could kill him, you could basically just win the game.
That could be big. The air smoked up. Oh, Axe blinks in the middle lane. Man, they had a chance right there. That was so close. See, dust popped by Melons just in case anything was happening, but obviously not the case. compLexity didn't realize they actually had a chance there to get some kind of snipe. Centaur still smoked up, but he is not going to be able to find a target, and eventually will be caught, or comes out of the smoke even. So that smoke gank fails there for compLexity. Valiant effort, but unable to catch anyone, and they are going to go for the shrine, though. This shrine at the bottom, at least, is still up. That's the only one. No, there's a top compLexity shrine also being up, so we'll see if Team Freedom eventually kills that here. But so far, it's still remaining. Eagle, though, split pushing at the bottom lane. He has those bots now, so a little more mobile and able to push them out.
Bots are what kind of start making and breaking the game when you get to this late of a time frame, because you can be in multiple lanes very quickly. The bots cooldown is shorter than a TP scroll cooldown, so it does let you move around the map a lot faster. And so we're going to see this being picked up by most of the heroes in this game at this point, just so they can all split push effectively and still get back for the fights.
It's also amusing when we have Necro here. You got power treads and bots. He's one for each foot here. As far as
now he just needs to go Guardian Grease, triple bootstrap.
Get all the boots. All pretty useful. No, but I'm sure he'll replace the power treads eventually here with perhaps that Shiva's that he wants to work on next. But for the time being, sitting with both of them. You got Tomato off to the side here. A very curious spot to be in. Has to be very careful, but could also argue that for compLexity, as they have only one hero nearby, and that's Centaur. I guess a pretty good one at that.
This is just a super delicate dance from both teams. Neither team's risking taking a true team fight. Neither team trying to get caught out. They're really just trying to play super safe, farm the map up, push lanes out, and just kind of keep control. The one thing that's suffering here is the warding on both teams. We see very, very few wards, and the couple that we do see up aren't really providing great relevant vision.
Bottom lane, is there a chance here? Man, I feel like they had a chance, and they do not go for it. I mean, Moo was coming in, and so they wanted to wait a little bit longer, but Tomato just simply too quick. And now Z-Freak's actually pretty committed up here. Cancel nearby, but Z-Freak, he gets down right there, but the Berserker's call split it on top. And the Sunstrike going to miss, actually, as he gets away. Leshrac in the background is picked off. And now Axe Mike trying to pour it out. Ain't going to happen, though. Reaper Scythe takes him at 100 seconds on that resurrection. Now he does have a buyback, but that's finally a move, and compLexity comes out on top with it.
Yeah. Very, very good play again by Z-Freak. Feel like I've been saying that all game, but acknowledging the fact that he can go, and Monkeys was really heads up with his ult there. As soon as Mike called, Monkeys just ulted for the damage reduction, so not even a chance to kill Z-Freak off there.
They have a lot of counter to Axe in that sense, where, you know, Axe is a great initiator, but between the Stampede, as you mentioned there, we saw, and then also the Global Silence. He used the Global Silence right after he jumps in, and there's going to be very little to no follow-up as a result, so yeah, it's a pretty tough game for Axe, it feels like. Middle lane, they are going to push in right here. There's some top interaction going out. You got Invoker versus a Centaur. Centaur is holding his own. That return doing plenty of damage, though. In fact, takes out the Lake of Sphere. The EMP comes out. But Tomato's the one that actually is a little bit lower now. He does have a Ghost Walk. A port coming in to assist right here, but they're not going to be able to get there in time. Meanwhile, back at the middle lane, the Racks actually do remain alive, and compLexity is retreating. Buyback onto Axe, by the way.
Yep, that's the biggest gain from that for sure. It was really, really sad. The ult from Necro was so close to killing off Sven. He threw the Reapers down. It was right there, and Cancel didn't quite get in range to Omni-Slash fast enough. So he did get away with about 10 health and then pop the Shrine. But all in all, good pressure from complexity. You're going to be really happy to get Mike's buyback. And they may look to smoke and go right now.
Now, obviously, Roshan, this will be the third one, so that's the cheese on Roshan here. It's been both in favor of Team Freedom so far. Complexity, the first one, even they had it, and then it just got stolen by Freedom as they were kind of resetting things, so don't want to let that happen again. And they're going to hang out nearby in the base currently is Centaur, but yeah, he's porting back in and going to join up with the team. 4,100 life now in Centaur, by the way. It's going to be more and more tanky.
Yeah, he's extremely tanky.
Okay, they're going to go back in here, but now it's Team Freedom's turn to try and attempt to defend, which they most certainly can do. Got the Sigil not ready for Tusk, but 12 seconds. Axe, ooh. You know he wants to go. There we go. K popped on him as well. He throws out the call, and he's going to try to pull them out, but that ain't going to work. So messing up on that initiation right there.
Yeah, both teams kind of have really terrible Roche takers. You have Jug on Complexity, which is pretty good, and Invoker's all right on Freedom, but you don't have a team that can just sneak in and blow it up.
Yeah.
So both teams just kind of dancing around the pit, putting in chip damage to Roche, and it's going to be what team decides to commit all in for this that probably ends up taking it.
Well, Necro's not here right now, and I think that's why Freedom may be going to Monk is a big three-man stun. Tusk the one, taking the damage. He does survive for the meantime, pops a snowball as the Sunstrike comes out as well. Necro, though, thrown up in the air. They do finish off Tusk. No buyback on him. Another throw up for Necro with the yields, and the Global Silence comes out pretty late in the fight, but eventually does. Leshrac being thrown back in. The Diabolic Edict, the ultimate of the Pulse Nova, not going to matter. He goes down 2-0. Double kill for Monkeys, and now they are going to finish off Roshan here for certain. So that three-man stun, though, from Monkeys, that was huge.
Yeah, that was huge. And they did take the gem back from Juve, so an extra little gem picked up in that. Free Roche, they probably will look to poke at high ground here, I would guess. You have 30 seconds. You can get a wave there in about 10 seconds. And Centaur is more than capable of pushing out top.
He's going to make his way up there and look to do that. But, yeah, the rest of them, well, not really the rest of them, the three of them here. Now, you do have Rubik. Sure enough, Z-Freak heading towards the bottom lane. He has Battle Hunger as his ability. A pretty worthless ability, really, considering what's on the board.
It stops blinks and it slows, so it's not totally useless.
Okay,
but
it's something. There you go.
Might get
wow.
though. That's
yeah.
pretty much game.
120 seconds, yeah. He's not coming back. And that could be game as mentioned. At the bottom lane, did Z-Freak just stop a TP?
It looks like it.
I think he might have. Yeah, that was his plan. And he, sure enough, does stop the TP. So now they're without Sven as well at the base. And they have to defend with just Leshrac and Tusk. Invoker, of course, nearby as well. But the three of them against the four that are here, that is such a difficult task to jump in. That's going to be one less as down goes Eagle. He will buy back immediately despite getting Reaper Scythe right there. But Centaur, 4,200 life, just tanking up all the damage that they're attempting to do, which isn't much from the looks of it. Eagle in the back line trying to catch Silence there. That ain't going to work, though. Yule Scepter in the air. Simply delay the inevitable. The crit comes out. Juggernaut finishes the job. Monkeys will barely survive again. Heals coming out as the snowball in from Juby. They might actually kill Centaur. Finally do as the Chrysalis crit from Sven comes out. But now Cancel just going back in. He does not have an Aegis. Okay, he does have an Aegis. What am I saying? I didn't see in his inventory for a second.
He has Omni-Slash, too. He's just looking for an Omni there. They want to end the game. They know it's pretty over at this point. So.
It is. Oh, the Scythe in the background. That should all but do it. Yeah, GG, well played. Complexity will take game 2, and they'll finish 2-0. And I you know, I was kind of looking at the standings here. They pretty much needed a 2-0 to have a hope here of moving on because they fell behind a little bit against, obviously, the favorites in DC. But with the 2-0, there still is at least hope mathematically. So that's good for them. On the other side for Team Freedom, this pretty much wraps up their chances, if not already it was.
Yeah, I believe they were locked out before the series even started. But yeah, rough go at it for Freedom. I mean, they hadn't lost the best of 3 this patch until the Duop series 2 weeks ago, and then they haven't won one since. Yeah. So it's been a struggle for them, and we'll have to see if they can find their mojo and get something back. But Z-Freak's participation in that game cannot be understated. That guy just put in so much work.
I loved it. I mean, that was fun to watch, and I know, again, I'm a fan of compLexity and a player like Z-Freak as well, but yeah, I don't feel biased saying that. I mean, I think somebody would agree. Watching him on a hero like Rubik, who just in general is an entertaining hero in good hands, is so much fun to watch. But yeah, he had some big plays in that earlier game especially that definitely help get compLexity to the spot that they needed to be to eventually pull through and take the 2-0. So very well played by him and overall as a team as they take the 2-0 again. So a decent day for compLexity. Go 2-0 here again. They split the earlier series against Doo-Wop, but still keeping hope alive. That's what really matters. So that means, though, we're going to be wrapping things up for tonight here. So another good day in the books as far as some Starladder I-League Star Series American region action. The name, man, it's just such a long name.
It really is.
Z-Rock, I want to thank you for joining me for this last cast, man. Anything else, any shout-outs you want to say?
Oh, no, just want to say thanks to everyone watching, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to cast with you. It's always a lot of fun to watch these two teams play.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely happy to have you on. You can follow him at ZRRock on Twitter. Be sure to check that out. So, as far as myself, guys, BreakyCPK, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at BreakyCPK. This is my Twitch channel. And we are going to be wrapping up for tonight. I will be back again tomorrow. Will be my last night for the American Qualifier coverage here, so look forward to some more good Dota 2 tomorrow. What are the matches? It's going to be Infamous versus NP to kick it off, Onyx versus Doo-Wop, and then NP versus Onyx to finish it off. So a nice mix of matches right there, but we're going to see NP a couple of times. That'll be fun. NP, the other team that's obviously up there contesting for that top spot, which will be the team that qualifies for the main event here of the Starladder I-League Star Series. So that should be a nice day ahead of us. Again, that kicks off tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. What is that? That would be 2200 Central European Time. There you go for the first game right there. So have a good night, guys. I'll see you next time here, which will be tomorrow. Until then, take it easy.